Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are, welcome to Life Coaching Access, your daily access with professional certified life coaches brought to you by Life Coach Philippines. Life Coach Philippines is our community of professional certified life coaches by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, a bona fide institute for mental health that is based in Dallas, Texas, USA. Life Coaching Access is our service to the community, and we aim to help individuals experience the process of transformation through the platform of life coaching. If you want to know more about our international coaching classes and services, please connect with Coach Roselle through 0917-586-1661 for your assistance. Again, that is 0917-586-1661 for your assistance. By the way, I'm Coach Tony for En Route to Forgiveness. Moving on begins with a mind shift. Your access with me is every Sunday at 2 p.m. And for my segment today, I will be sharing with you episode 18, When the Work Ends. Please tag your FB friends in the comment section below and invite them to join our conversation. You may also share this FB Live to your timeline and FB groups and pages so that we can reach more people and help transform lives. All right, so hello everyone. For those of you who are my first time viewers or the first time viewers here in Life Coaching Access, then I'd like to say hi. I'm Coach Tony, and I am a coach for millennials and younger people, and I'm also a career coach. Now, as a life coach, I don't give advice, and I'm also not a guru. Now, for those of you who want to contact me, you can contact me via my email at coach.tony.espiritu@gmail.com. Or you can contact me via my Facebook page at coach.tony.espiritu. Or if you want to join my group, I have a group called Life Cartographers. So you can just search it up on Facebook. All right. So we now are in, I would say, the second week of March already. And for this entire week of March, I will only have 3 episodes for this month. Starting with today's episode, titled When the Work is Finished. Episode 19 is The End of Your Academe Life. And episode 20, The End of One Adventure. So, in that case, let's talk about when the work is finished. So, I have a question for you, fellow viewer, or anyone who's watching this on replay. When the work is finished, what is it that you do after? What is it you normally do or say? Or what do you feel like doing after everything is said and done? I want you to take a moment and just think about the first thing that pops into your head. What do you do when the work starts, or when the work ends, or when your work is finished? For some of us, it would be to rest. Maybe we can just sit at home, have a good meal, eat, drink coffee, or maybe talk with friends, family members, anyone that makes us feel like we're at home. Maybe we do our hobbies. We play video games or watch a movie, Netflix, create something. For me personally, it used to be Gundam or creating figurines, and now it's more reading and doing a bit of research in my days off. And sometimes reading as well. And for others, well, because we've been mostly doing this, hopefully, or maybe in our off time now, we've been watching Netflix or shows. Maybe you watch TV shows, Korean telenovelas, anime, anything really. So mainly anything that can help us feel recharged and anything that can make us feel somewhat rested, well rested. And if that is the case, I'd like to ask now, if your work is done or once the work is finished, what about when your job or work is done? And what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, you resigned from your job, or you were laid off, or you were just or you finally resign, or basically, yeah, just resign or let go of your work, what is it that you do? Well, if you go around and ask people, some for most of us, the first thing that we would do is rest. Again, rest is something that can help us feel recharged, can help us go back to our go back and just focus on what we need to do, uh, find out what needs to be done, helps us recharge, focus on what we need to do. After we rest, maybe some of us look for work immediately, or maybe we look for work or look for a job in our spare time. Maybe we try to look for work with our friends, or we look at job boards or anything like that. And for other people, it would be to find our calling. Sorry, this slide's supposed to be find our calling, not rest. Um, what I mean, and I'll explain. So when we find our calling, that would be finding the thing that makes our heart sing, or something that we really wanted to do. Uh, and it's something that sometimes takes a leap. Sometimes it takes courage to find the thing that you want to do, or find the thing that makes your heart jump and race. And if that is someplace that or something that you want to do, then go for it. If it's something that you are confident in, that you want and are willing to do, then go for it. No one is stopping you but yourself. And if you have a supportive group of people and a supportive group of friends and relatives that can support you in this, by all means, go for it. So that is what for some of us, jumping or going for our calling helps us do. So after going through all of this, whether it be taking a break from work, or whether you were laid off or you resigned, first thing I'd like to ask you is, how do you feel? How do you feel about taking a break from work? Or how do you feel about resigning? Or at the end of the day, how do you feel when the work that you do finally ends? What is it that makes us feel like we want to stop, or we want to end the work that we do? What is it that we feel, or what is the first thing that comes to our mind? Is it something that doesn't feel uncomfortable? Is it something that's not okay to feel? Is it something that makes you feel uncomfortable? Is it something that makes you feel happy? There are times wherein when we are let go of because of the work that we do, we feel like it's the end of the world, or we feel like we can't lose our job, or we feel like it's not okay. And for a lot of us who were laid off in the pandemic last year, or even now, we feel horrible about it. It feels like there's nothing that we can do. It feels like we could have done better, but we couldn't. Or maybe we could have done things differently. A lot of those what ifs. And it's okay to feel that. It's okay to feel that we feel not so great about it. Um, and I'd like to tell you that for those of us who feel like this, I'd just like to tell you that the end of work is not necessarily the end of your identity. The end of your job, or when you resign from work, it doesn't necessarily mean that a part of you is gone forever. It's still a part of you. How you identified yourself with the work that you were doing, it's a chapter of a book, of your life book, of your life, that you can create, that when you jump to a new chapter in your life, you can create something else. That part of you, that chapter has closed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the entire book is finished. I hope I made that correlation. I hope I made that much sense for you, whoever is watching this. And I hope that when you stop working, it doesn't necessarily mean that this work defines you. No, you define the work. You define how you create the work, and you define how it is that you want to create your life. Because just because your work ended, and just because the work that you did stopped, or the thing that you're doing just stopped, doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world. Again, when work is the end of the work is not necessarily the end of your life, or it's not necessarily the end of your personal identity, who you are as a person. Now, diverging from this, there are many things we can do and choose to do after the work is done, after we resign from work, or after we are let go of from our jobs. In choosing what to do, we can ask other people what they did. So you can ask your friends who resigned or who were let go of, what did they do? It helps you give perspective also to what were their choices that they made, the specifics as to what led them to that choice. Was it forced upon them, or did they choose? Is it something that made them feel not great, or is it something that opened their eyes to a new chapter or possibilities at the end of the road? And when we see how others pick themselves up and move towards what it is that they want to do, then we can start to see that we can forgive ourselves about it. We can forgive ourselves for not continuing our work or our jobs just because we were let go of, or just because we resigned because we don't like the work that we do, or maybe because we have a family emergency, or we find something more important and we have to let go of the job that we're doing. You have to forgive yourself in order to not burden yourself in telling yourself that the work that you were doing is not enough. The work that you resigned yourself from wasn't enough. That it was okay to let go of the work, or it was okay to resign, or it was okay that you weren't able to continue with the job. Now, the harsh reality of it is that with a company that you with a company, any company, its employee its employees are replaceable. That's the harsh truth to it. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. Companies will find other people to replace your job, but you as a person aren't replaceable. You are your own person. You shouldn't, again, you shouldn't let the work define who you are. You define the work. You define how it is that you want to work and how it is that you create the work for that. Excuse me. You create the work that you do. And that should be the thing that you, a person, you as a human being, should look at it. Work at the end of the day is something that we do, and it shouldn't define us for how we are for the rest of our lives. Because there are better things out there for us. There can be new horizons. There can be something better for us out there. There we can create our own work, our dream job, something that creates meaning for us. Maybe the work that you were doing prior to that, or where you were let go of, you can use that experience to create something better. Hate hate that job that you're doing? Okay, create a maybe you can create a society, or create a tribe, or create a support network for people who feel the same way. Transform You can transform that thing, you can transform your experience into something greater, into something that's better for other people, and you allow it to prosper and grow. It's a matter of perspective on what we want to do from here. But for sure, there are better things out there for us. And I am sure that when we are called to do something, or when we feel like we want to do something greater out there, I think our heart will resonate with it. And it would be best if we allow ourselves to grow from there. We just have to listen to it. We have to listen to our hearts, what our heart wants. We can also listen to what other people say about us, what we're good at, what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are. Once we identify that, we can expand on what we need to do and how we go about it. And again, we have to forgive ourselves for not continuing with our jobs or our work. It's not every day that we can strive, or we can create something new out of something. Creating something out of nothing is not possible, but creating something out of our experience and transforming it into something greater, then yeah, that is something that we can do. Now, for people who believe, or people who have, or people of faith, that can mean, what all this means is the Lord can set us in motion where we need to be and where we can go. And for others, this is a chance for us to reevaluate what our skills are, what our strengths, our weaknesses, and what we are good at, and how we can turn it into something great, as what I've mentioned. If you don't believe, if you're not a firm believer in your faith, and if you're a firm believer in the universe setting in motion, maybe it's the universe aligning itself, or finding your place in the universe, where you need to be in this earth, where you need to go about it, where you need to be in order to get to where you want to go. It's all about finding and setting the right pace for yourself, and trying to see where we need to go, where we need to be, and how we want to get there. So, again, the end of work doesn't necessarily mean the end of your identity. It's about how we can uplift ourselves, how can we move on from here, and how we can transform our own lives. Because what's much more beautiful about transforming our own lives, as well as help transform others, so that we can create a life that we want to. And once we learn how to, or once we allow ourselves to grow in our own hearts, then we can move on from here, and we can transform the way we do things. And I think that is a beautiful thing to think about. And that's a beautiful way to end here. So, again, forgive ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to learn how to forgive ourselves in the work, in not continuing the work that we're doing, in the job that we're not doing. If we resigned, or if we were let go of, forgive yourself. It's not necessarily your own fault that you were let go of. Maybe you need to, or maybe the skills that you accomplished may be used for somewhere else. And again, the life that you create for yourself is the life worth meaning. Once you create that meaning for yourself, then you have created something beautiful for yourself. Now, for each of us, that road is different. For each of us, it can mean different things. But if you want me to journey with you, then allow me to help you. Again, I am just a message away, and you can message me on Facebook or my email. All right? And thank you so much for joining me today in Life Coaching Access today. I hope that whoever this reaches to can have a good thing to heart, and create something good with what you want to do. All right. So, as we end today's episode, let me invite you to visit our coaching hub at D Cup Coffee Republic, located at the Pioneer Center, PC, compound along Pioneer Road, corner Brixton and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City. So, if you know where Unilab is, just right across there. And on the second floor, you will see D Cup. It's just the signage is there. So, you ask the guard how to get there, and they will lead you if you can ask the guard. Our coaching hub is open physically from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. only, but virtual operations is 24/7, and we offer coaching services on demand anytime of the day and any day of the week. Again, please connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 for your coaching needs. Again, that is 0917-586-1661. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be seeing you next week, the same day at the same time. Love, bum, boom.